Hey everybody, meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you on this Monday, first full work week of the brand spanking new year. My website has a new friend. It's called Hutch's Weather app. Search Hutch's Weather in the App Store today. I'd love to have you on board. Now we got fog, we have some freezing drizzle, and areas of freezing rain that could significantly accumulate and cause some travel troubles in our region. We're going to go over everything right now. Thanks for watching. We're going to get started right away with just a look at what's going on across the area as we take a look at this forecast model, because I got to tell you what, overnight we're going to not see freezing rain everywhere, but there's going to be pretty dense fog, and we'll show you some road cams and everything. The gray areas from central North Dakota, the James River Valley, the Bottineau Hills, all the way out towards the Towner County area. That is a dense fog advisory through all of eastern North Dakota and northern Minnesota, right through the Arrowhead. There are some counties that have a dense fog advisory in this purple nonsense, and that is a winter weather advisory that is in effect for you folks out here, basically from around St. Cloud right down into the Twin Cities. Let me take you in a little bit closer. What you're seeing looping there is future radar. So from the Appleton area, Benson, Melrose, right down into Wilmer right now, as we take a look out toward the Twin Cities, Elk River and all of the metro area are in this winter weather advisory. Folks, down here on the I-94 corridor, we're going to get some of that freezing rain that really could add up. I'll have the details in the forecast. This goes all the way down towards New Ulm, Gaylord, all in Glencoe and Hutchinson. No relation, but Hutch sees some freezing rain in the forecast for Hutchinson. This winter weather advisory sneaks all the way across northern Wisconsin from Stevens Point right into Green Bay. And look at this, northern Michigan for you as well. If you see the pink on here, this is the hour-by-hour forecast showing us where we're going to have that best chance. I'm going to stop this because we got a big region to cover here in the upper Midwest, and we're going to show you when it starts and where. Do know that anyone that has fog, we got these little, what are called super cooled water droplets drifting around there. When you walk through fog, you don't get drenched, but you can feel that mist in the air. And those are tiny little fog droplets that are liquid. They're either super cooled at temperatures below freezing, or they've melted into liquid drops and will freeze on impact on road surfaces, sidewalks, your teeth if they're cold enough. And then we have wintry weather across the region as well. So freezing fog puts a coat of slippery nonsense. Not all of us are going to get heavy rain. Not all of us in this advisory area are going to have that, but the fog is certainly a problem. Now, putting this into motion as we go through the nighttime hours here, you see 3 to 5 p.m. here, we're going to continue to see this ice spread. Now, here it is, lighting up the future radar in southern Minnesota, and a band making its way through Winnipeg, Winkler, right up into northwest parts of Minnesota as we go through the night. I can hear your comments. Keep them coming. Questions I'll get to in just a second. Now, as we head into the dinner hour and beyond, this icing will sneak across northern parts of Minnesota. And as it does so, we're going to have a little layer of ice. So this does include the Red Lakes area. There's the Highway 11 corridor through Baudette, right down into Thief River, Red Lake Falls, Grigla, and on down into Lakes Country. Here's Lakes Country, Becker and Otter Tail County. You'll see some as well. Now up north, we could have a little smattering of light freezing drizzle here and there, but not for everybody. So keep that in mind. There's going to be those slippery spots. In fog, it's so bad. I want you to think about this. Manually turn your headlights on, period, because even a little bit of light confuses that sensor on your dashboard there, and it may not have your headlights on. Be super safe, turn them on. Now, heading into the overnight hours, the rain and the freezing rain will continue across Minneapolis and moving off into parts of Wisconsin. And look at this, north of Chicago, Milwaukee, and straight down into Indiana, we'll have a chance of rain, wet rain, but up to the north, that freezing drizzle does continue. As we go through our Tuesday, the fog chances are going to stick around. We'll have a fog-specific forecast coming up here in just a bit. But we notice that the precipitation in the form of snow as we go through our Tuesday and into the evening hours will exit the area, but it does not mean crystal clear skies, and it doesn't mean our fog chances are over. So that's what's going on here. Now let's take a look at some current conditions across the region right now, because we do have some terrible travel conditions with the fog really getting thick. First of all, take a look at our surface temperatures on the ground where we're all walking around, our faces at 6 feet. That's where we measure your temperatures. And we're looking at 27 as we look at Park Rapids. And off to the west out there, or excuse me, east, we have 25 Duluth, and the Arrowhead near Ely, 21 degrees. So the surface is cold enough to freeze on impact with those fog droplets making their way down. But you get down towards Rolla and Bismarck and we're above freezing. So roads will have a chance to stay wet and dry, but remember, the surface of the pavement and the ground below it has a frost depth now that's pretty deep. So keep that in in mind as we go through. Oh my goodness, let me go ahead and change this back over. I think I lost my radar. Let's go back to it. Okay, now as we take a look at what's going on right now with regards to our visibility, I want to point this out. Where you see the reds here, the visibility isn't too bad, around 5 to 10 miles. It's not terrible, and it's not perfect, but it's not terrible. Get into these darker colors here. That's where the fog is very, very dense, and I can turn on a look at the sensor here and show you that in and around Grand Forks, we're reporting 0 miles of visibility. Not even a tenth of a mile. Fargo, same thing goes. As we go through this whole area, we might see up to about a tenth of a mile of visibility. It is terrible out there. This sneaks all the way down towards Sauk Center, the Highway 10 corridor, right through the Detroit Lakes area, on towards Brainerd, Staples, Motley, Bemidji, Cass Lake, and the Grand Rapids area, all in this thick, thick fog that's working its way through the region. So that's what's going on right now. And speaking of that fog, I'm going to take a look at the fog forecast, and then we'll take a look at the ice forecast and get to your questions here. So let's start with a look at what's going on with regards to the fog. And for that, I'm just going to pull up my standard close-up model here. Pardon me while my eyeballs get used to standing up now. I got to stretch my legs. Woo! Look at that. Hutch is up jumping around right now. Here is a look at the high-resolution model forecast. We're going to change this over to the visibility now so we can see where that fog chance is going to be the greatest. Now, I'm going to go back to a model run here that'll get me farther into the forecast period, so bear with me while I do that here. And here we go. Now, as we go through the evening hours, the pink areas here are visibilities that are ridiculous. I mean, look at this. As I put the cursor on here, you're going to see a tenth of a mile or less. Not everywhere, like the model shows, is going to have visibility that poor, but it's not going to be good through the eastern half of North Dakota. I'll move out of the way because I can move now, and we got ourselves Minnesota, the majority of the state, socked into fog, as is northern Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan. So very soupy air, and remember the freezing rain that we just showed you down to the south, putting everything into motion. Look what's going on up here near the Bottineau Hills. We're going to see some drier air punching out of Canada, Brandon, Estevan, that area sneaking down. So there's a chance to see the fog evaporate near the surface, but it'll still be mostly cloudy as we head into the morning hours. So this is just pre-dawn. We're stapled on the I-94 corridor, the southern half of the I-29 corridor, the I-90 corridor. All of these routes will be socked in some areas of low clouds and fog with near zero visibility in some places. Then, how about the daytime hours? As we go towards your lunch hour here, toot toot, lunch hour, we'll have a little bit of a reprieve from that fog in some places, but isolated locations, particularly in the eastern half of Minnesota, are going to be dealing with this fog all day long. Now, heading into the nighttime hours for your Tuesday, notice this, it does set back up again. Patchy areas of dense fog, a probability as we go into the nighttime hours on your Tuesday night and into Wednesday morning once again. But notice this, not as much of a chance in central North Dakota, central South Dakota, and out west towards the big sky country of Montana. Things are looking pretty good, but the fog will be a likelihood as we once again head out in the general direction to the west. So now let's focus on a couple of fun facts here as we go through. Number one, what are the temperatures going to be tonight? We're going to stay cold enough for some icy conditions with temperatures overnight and towards morning. Now, this is a snapshot at 7 in the morning. I expect temperatures in the 20s. That's below freezing, and that means slick conditions. So we got icy roads here, and the rain, the actual raindrops that hit the frozen pavement are going to happen down in southern Minnesota and out toward the Twin Cities. It'll be icy there, including on the I-94 corridor, the Highway 10 corridor, and most north-south and east-west routes through Minnesota, as it does look to be mighty icy there. Now, let's do the afternoon forecast for your Tuesday. Woo-wee! We're talking some 40s out there to near 50. We're going to spank a 50 out there as we look in towards Rapid City, Buffalo, South Dakota, Ziebach County, you're warming up, as well as Glendale, Montana, and Dawson County, 42 degrees for you. Still a little on the cool side in Freud, Plentywood, Brockton, and all of you in Wolf Point as you go across the state border into Williston. Oh, near freezing, not too bad. Here's where things stay cold. If you break out of the fog overnight, which could happen in the Bottineau Hills, it's going to be a cold air mass that settles in. You have a lot of fresh, flaky snow, fluffy snow. I know, I was just up in Rolla, and I got to tell you what, those flakes were mighty flyable too. So if we got wind, that wouldn't be good this time of the year with what's going on. Isolated areas of drizzle will not be out of the question from central Minnesota up into parts of Wisconsin for the day, kind of adding insult to injury there. as we go through. I've got some bonus coverage here for you. Let me know in the comments if you want this, but let's take a look at the week ahead with regards to snowfall, and I'll show you what meteorologists look at to see what might happen. You know as well as I do, we go out on a limb when we say, oh, it looks like day 7 is going to have a big bad weather event. Too far out to get specific, but what we can do is look at many models and look at averages, and we're going to do that here in a minute. But first, I think we'll look at the Fargo 7-day. Notice this, it's going to be kind of on the cool side as we go through Tuesday. Fog, and then freezing fog in the morning with a light drizzle in the areas here of the valley and eastern North Dakota, moving into western Minnesota. Flat out freezing rain as we go into southern Minnesota, including the Twin Cities, all the way as far out as Alexandria to St. Cloud. So watch for slipperiness there. Steady eddy temperatures as we go through your Tuesday out there, and then it's a little bit warmer. Super duper breaking out of some of the clouds on Wednesday. I still think we'll see more clouds and sunshine across the region, but even more super duper as temperatures jump into the 30s. Some of you asked me, what about the ice? We want to go ice fishing. Is this going to harm it? Whenever you're in an area with above freezing temperatures, particularly with fog like we'll have in some areas, again on Wednesday morning, I showed you that out east. It's kind of an efficient melter of snow, but that ice has a depth to it. Ice is never safe, folks. You got to keep that in mind out there. And I've got a reminder graphic here for you if I can just find it. Ice is never safe. You have to measure it, measure once, measure twice. Before you take the big rig on there or the monster truck, you just got to make sure that ice is at least a foot deep. So keep an eye on it. Ice conditions change hour to hour and day to day, so make sure that you're keeping that in mind. Back to the 7-day we go. Whoop, reeling her back in. Where did the 7-day go? Okay, I skipped it. We went right to the ice. 7-day forecast, we'll get to that ice in a second, shows that we drop off a bit as we go from Friday into Saturday. A weather wobble works its way through. This is a Hudson Bay low that swings down. We'll have north winds, dropping temperatures as we go through, and steady eddy temperatures as we go through Saturday at 18 all day. So start at 18, end at 18, dropping to 7. But at least we're above 0 as the 30s return into the next work week. Now, here's that icing potential for overnight. 2 areas of concern for us here. Area numero uno, number 1, my friend Pedro says, it looks like it's going to be a light, slick glaze. I cannot rule out a mixed area of some, well, call it freezing drizzle or snowflakes. Look at this. We could see 1/10 or 2/10 of an inch of freezing rain in some spots of southern Minnesota. So as you go down south of Brainerd Lakes towards Little Falls, Highway 10, Highway 15, moving in toward the Twin Cities and the St. Cloud area, there's going to be a potential there for some significant wintry weather indeed. So that's a look at that. Now we're going to take a look at our friends. Now, I do want to remind you, if you have not done so yet, I would love to have you join me on Hutch's Weather app. Now, Hutch's Weather app is free in the App Store, and it's, I've got a biased opinion, but it's the best out there. It's going to give you all the tools that you need right on your cell phone for all of the weather information that I think is truly pertinent when it comes to this time of year and the weather that we get. So let's go through the details here. Pardon my eyeballs as I get this loaded up. You click on my icon here, and what you're going to notice is, well, we got a few sponsors that make it possible. So please keep them in mind over there at OK Tire and my friends over at Luther Family Ford. Number 1, you can watch the latest video, and if I'm live, you can watch that there too. I hope you're watching. Drop in the comments if you're watching live from your mobile device. You can add locations to this, so if you want to keep the eye on the kids' weather or the family's weather out in another part of the country, you can do that anytime as well. Now, here's a couple of things that is really handy for this kind of time of year. If you press on the road report conditions right here, it's going to load up, thanks to my friends at OK Tire, all of the details you need to know for travel in the upper Midwest. Every state, every Canadian province, from Saskatchewan through Manitoba, straight down through the Dakotas, Montana, Wyoming, all the way to Colorado. And for our friends in the great state of Minnesota, we got you covered too. So keep that in mind. You can take a peek at what's going on with all of your road conditions on Hutch's brand new weather app. And we're going to do that now. I want to show you exactly how nasty things are across the region by taking a look at what you can see. If you were to click right here, let's go to North Dakota. And in North Dakota, if we go to the menu bar right here and we click on that puppy, it's going to expand, and it's going to do, this is a pro tip by the way, it's going to allow us to turn the cameras on. Do you see this camera toggle here? It's off. We'll turn that on. Now we'll hit this little X in the corner, and now we can load up on our cellular device here wherever we're at and wherever we're going the latest camera views. We can zoom and we can point around and we can see the blue, meaning partially covered roads that are very slick out there. And now we get into the area of the fog advisory. Let's go to Valley City, and this shows, woo, that's some fog and thick fog. And again, those headlights are going to be really important for all of us driving around. And again, I encourage you to flip the switch and turn those puppies on. Here's a full screen version of what we got going on. The cameras are on. Hutch is going to do this now. And now we're going to take a look at across the region. If you have a question, I'm going to go ahead and load up your comments now so I can see them. Pardon my eyeballs from wandering across the screen. And here we go. Now, what do we got here? Thanks, everybody. It's good to have you on board. Clint Mo, good to have you. Let's roll, Hutch. All right, Ethan, good to have you on board. Catalina, great advice. Manually turn on the headlights. Indeed, it's important. Foggy days, but milder, definitely. Thanks so very much for the comments. Downloaded the app, but now it's asking me to sign in, and I see your videos, and I end up having to come on YouTube to see your live video. Hey, that's fine. You know what? YouTube, when you're at a home device, is a little better quality. It's a little bigger. So I want you to go over to my YouTube page and click the subscribe button there too, because then you can see me in full HD should you want to. Here is a peek then at the full-size version as we take a look at road conditions in and around Valley City and south central North Dakota, south of Jamestown. This is what it's looking like as we get into this area down here. So it's thick, dense fog. How far west does that fog go? If we go west of Jamestown and we get into Medina, look at this. I see some golden sunshine out there for you folks in Medina, North Dakota. So not a problem there. That is the cutoff zone right now, but it's on the I-94 corridor all the way deep into Minnesota, as we'll show you. Let's check the I-29 corridor as we look north. We've got green road conditions showing up, but what does that mean? Green roads means seasonal travel conditions, but we certainly can see the soupy air and the fog as we go north near the Pembina border crossing. Down south toward the South Dakota line in the Fargo-Moorhead area, you know it's foggy out there. I looked out my window and it looks very hazy and foggy as we look from the tri-level there. And now as we take a look at the state line with South Dakota down here, not far from Hankinson, we see some snot on the road. We see some slippery stuff on the road, and people getting those headlights turned on because it's soupy there for sure. Now let's sneak on over across the river and check out our friends out in the state of Minnesota. Now I got to tell you what, we got fog advisories and winter weather advisories down south. The winter weather advisory takes effect at 9 p.m. That's when it goes into effect tonight. That's when the rain will be the heaviest. Let's peruse the map and show you some conditions across the region. Let's go Highway 10, let's go Interstate 94 to show you that these foggy conditions, as we zoom into our route, you can kind of go where you want to. Here's Lakes Country out here, and now you're looking at Lake Lakota rest area, and that one, the camera is out. But look at this in Alexandria. I mean, this is soupy sales kind of air there, and it's very, very thick. There's water droplets in the fog that are freezing on roads, so it's not fun to drive on. That's I-94 right through the Fergus Falls and Alexandria area. As we get a little closer to the Twin Cities, we start seeing the visibility is a little bit better there, but the roads are certainly wet, as you can see from that shot there. Checking out Highway 10, off to the east of Fargo, Lake Park, and my friends there, you got some soupy air making its way through that area. I mean, look at the visibility here. It's definitely reduced as you go through. Now, as we get a little farther to the east on Highway 10, there's pink on this. Now, this pink color that you see on the road map here, if you look over here at the what do you call it? The legend, that's it. If you look at the legend, it'll tell us that pink is completely covered roads. We have ice, and you can actually see it if you look closely on these power lines here. That fog, little water droplets freezing on impact on those power lines that are going across the road surface there. So indeed, we have icy conditions there. Let's go up north in a little bit higher north latitude here in North Dakota and Minnesota and see what's going on. So in and around Fisher, in and around your area, East Grand Forks, we have very foggy conditions on the Highway 2 corridor there, so that's what's going on. Now, Highway 11, as we get way up here, let's go out into the Kitson County area. I got to tell you, Lancaster, look at this. Is that snow? I can't even see if the lens is iced up. Nope, that's just some terrible fog and probably ice droplets working their way through the air. So we got some completely covered roads up there in Kitson County, like Brunson, Kennedy, all of you folks up there in the Hallock area, watch out. That road is a little bit icy. Now, we've been through this rodeo before. We know what it's like to drive on this stuff, but I just want to really compound the message here that it's region-wide, and it's something that's going to mean we need to drive without our cruise control on. Don't even think about putting that on. You hit that ice, glare ice, you don't know it's there until you're sideways and going in the ditch and then rolling over a couple times. We want you traveling safe. South Dakota, the northeast quadrant of the state, is a little bit troublesome. The rest of you do have some areas of fog, but by and large, things are a little bit better there. Now I'm going to turn this whole broadcast over to you. It's live. What do you want to see? I want to share with you a message, but I want you to think of your questions. Drop them in the comments. First of all, if you do get my weather app or you head over to hutchesweather.com, you're going to notice that Hutch has some fun things going. Well, I said next year, but I mean this year, 2026, August 16th to the 26th, Hutch is taking a tour to Norway with you. Check out the details by heading over to hutchesweather.com or the app and click on this Norway button here. There's links to my friends there. This is a guided tour. A friend of mine and a Norwegian who knows how to show us what's fun and show us special areas as we tour fjords and beautiful Norway. I'm really looking forward to this. So what I want to do is head on over and let you meet our guide who's right here and lives in Fargo, but is Norwegian from Norway.
Hi, I'm Frode Tilden. I will be your native Norwegian tour director on the 11-day fantastic trip through Norway in August. Join Hutch and myself to explore the cities of Oslo, Flåm, Bergen and Trondheim, and many more. Call Brekke Tours for more info. Looking forward to see you in the fjords country of Norway.
Frode is the very best. And you know what? Just a little bit more on this and I'll get to your questions. And that's the fact that I got to share with you. My great-grandpa immigrated here to the United States from Trondheim. It's one of the cities on the list. So my friends at Brekke Travel have all the information that you're going to need to get geared up for what's going on. Now let's take a tour over to the app real quick here one more time. And I did want to point out that on the app's homepage, if you scroll around here just down to the bottom and you're going to see the picture of Hutch in Norway, you can find out information right here by clicking on that. And again, 16th through the 26th, visit Norway with Hutch and guided by Frode. And here's the number where you call my friends at Brekke Tours. You visit them at brekketours.com, but give them a call. They'll give you all the information. We'd love to have you reserve a seat for this awesome trip to the fjords and beautiful country of Norway. Now, let's check out your questions and let's get crack-a-lacking on those. Kim and Carol says foggy days, but milder temperatures. And Larry says, don't forget to wear those foot spikes. That's not a bad tip out there. Again, a survival kit is really a must when you're out and about and driving in this kind of weather. If you slide off and you happen to be stuck there before help comes for quite a while and your car doesn't run, we want you staying warm. What about the St. Croix River area east of the Twin Cities? Yeah, let's say, Nan Leakley, let's get to your question right there. I'm going to start with the ice forecast that I had up here just a second ago, and then we'll zoom into your area just a little bit closer. But what I do want to point out is we certainly do have some concerns about your weather as we look off to the east. So look at the St. Croix River area. Look at Minneapolis straight into Wisconsin here. So Hudson straight south. Look, it goes all the way down in towards areas not far from, say, well, I almost said Red Lake Falls, but the Red Lake area as you go down south of the Twin Cities towards Rochester, Hutchinson, Glencoe, Mankato, all of these areas have a chance for some accumulating ice out there. Now your temperatures will be a little bit warmer, but enough cold surface on the pavement to cause some slippery spots. So keep that in mind. I hope that answers your question. Excellent, interesting, jam-packed with information. Joe Martin, I sure appreciate that very much. And Substitute 206, thank you so kindly as well. Now I'm heading over to my friends over on Facebook. Hey everybody, I got a couple of words to share with you. Just recently, Hutch is celebrating 10,000 people that have subscribed to my YouTube channel. That is awesome. And you know what? We're kissing 80,000 people here on Facebook. Head over, if you're a Facebook user, and head on over to the YouTube side of things because you can watch it on the big screen TV at home, and that is a bonus. Thank you so much. Fergus Falls, Stephen, good to have you on board. I truly appreciate you. And you know what? I believe you've given me some guitar tips too. I got to work some ways to get my guitar connected into my sound system here. I'm not an expert at all these things, but I'm sure trying to learn. Thick soupy fog from Hecla, South Dakota to Oaks, North Dakota. Stacy, thank you for your report. Drove home from the metro between 3 and 4:30, and the roads were a little wet, but mainly dry. BA, thank you very much for your report. That's south of the Twin Cities is where BA is, so good to know. Fergus Falls watching. Pat, good to have you on board. Watching from Moorhead. Shirley, thank you very much for Peggy watching in Harriet, South Dakota. Hey, Kim, thank you for your support of stars. All of your support is real cool, and if you've not seen so yet, I also have a fun addition to the website and a fun addition to the app, and that is the fact that I have got for you the ability to load some Hutch gear up. So you asked, and you got it. If you click on Hutch's gear button, there's some really cool, I think, gear out there that's not all about Hutch, but about some Hutchisms. And if you have an idea, drop in the comments there what you'd like to see. I've heard some requests for dog apparel, but I'm having problems finding places that do the prints onto dog apparel. And I do have some exciting new items that'll be coming on shortly, and you can hear more about that by checking in with me. Thank you so much again, Kim, for your true support. And I want to throw a special thank you out on all of you who have donated stars on Facebook over the years and contributing as well on YouTube and all the platforms. It's really helped Hutch step forward. Without your support like this, and without you watching and telling people about my app, it wouldn't be a possibility for me to keep doing what I love. So I really salute all of you who have done so. I want to throw a special thank you out to Robin, to Darren, Chrissy, as well as Elena, Mindy, and Cody for your Venmo contributions to Hutch as well. So thank you all so very much for being a part of Hutch's Weather. You all are the very, very best. And for now, I believe I've got everything except those photos. So one of the cool things about Hutch's Weather here, live on the air here, we can kind of take a peek at what you guys are uploading. And let me see, I want photos of the fog. Oh boy, do we got some great photos coming in here. Tasha, I see your photos from Badger. These are amazing. I cannot wait to approve them right now. They are approved, and we're going to go share them with you, because when we get this freezing fog, we also get that beauty, and that beauty is the icing that happens on trees. So check out the beautiful upper Midwest scenes from around the region. Let's go right to it, and let's check out some of these photos. Tasha, thank you so much for sharing this one from the Badger, Minnesota area, Highway 11. You can see those ice crystals sticking on one side. Why one side? If the wind is blowing this way, those ice crystals kind of freeze on the branches right on that side. Just a beautiful example of that rime or white icing going on there. And you can see it in the trees and the pine cones here as well. Oh man, it's just a beautiful scene. Some of us start getting a little bit tired of it, but not all of us. Look at that gorgeous moon Julia shared with us. That's that full moon or nearly full wolf moon out there. We haven't had a ton of awesomeness as far as clear skies go. So thanks for getting out there and sharing a peek of that full wolf moon with all of us here. That happened a couple of days ago. Thank you so very much, Julia. Again, more views of that between the clouds. And if you don't have pleasant weather, maybe you have pheasant weather. Cameron, thank you so much. Devil's Lake with a pheasant, well, that's a rooster there, hanging out in the tree and just checking out to see what's going on. Thanks so very much. Can you explain the process of freezing rain from a stratospheric, oh boy, let me see. Nanly Eckley, is it? I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. I'm trying to read your handle there on the YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. So from a stratospheric point of view, what is freezing rain and what is the process of freezing rain? If we make a cloud in the atmosphere, what can happen is water starts to condense on nuclei, some sort of a piece of junk in the atmosphere, smoke, and it can stay a liquid drop. So it can condense as a liquid drop and not ice, even at temperatures below freezing. And in fact, liquid drops can exist to temperatures down to minus 40 or so C or minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit as well. That's a crossing point where both scales are the same. So yes, we can have frozen liquid drops. So these drops can be suspended in the atmosphere where it's cold. Now, when we go up in the atmosphere on an airplane, we can't roll the windows down because the pressure drops way off. We'll get a nosebleed. We won't get enough oxygen to breathe. But it's also quite cold usually in the higher levels of the atmosphere. And as the water drops in clouds go up into the colder layers, if an airplane's flying through that cloud with liquid drops, and the wing of the airplane is below freezing, then what you see on these trees and what you've seen on some of these pictures, that icing called rime icing, well, it forms on the leading edge of the aircraft, just like it's forming on the leading edge of this branch. That can add weight to the aircraft and it can mess with the lift that it has. So I'm not sure if I'm addressing your question here, but essentially, if we have freezing raindrops in the air that are tiny little droplets, like cloud droplet size, they're very small. Essentially, they can freeze on impact on things like tree branches in your cars. So that's freezing rain. We can also get clouds that have snowflakes in them or ice crystals. And let's say an ice crystal falls down through some freezing water droplets. If we put ice in with freezing water droplets, those ice crystals grow very, very rapidly into big snowflakes the size of Hutch's fist. And they fall even faster because they're a little heavier. As they fall down through the atmosphere, if that snowflake ever falls through a layer of air that's pretty thick and it's warm, it'll melt and it turns into a raindrop. And if the ground where we're at is frozen, then that wet drop that got warmed and melted from ice into a liquid drop will freeze when it hits your sidewalk. So that's the process of freezing rain, and I hope that helps. Good. Hello, everyone from Wyoming, Stephen Singleton. I hope all of you cowboys in the cowboy state and cowgirls are all having a wonderful start to the new year. Dennis, thank you very much. Make sure you tag people to watch this video. I'll have more updates coming up as we head into the morning hours, but we did a complete look here today. If you missed any of it, we talked about your hour-by-hour forecast. We talked about the fog forecast and where and when it will be the worst. We talked about the icing forecast and where it will be the worst. We talked about the 7-day forecast. We looked at the long-term trend for snow, and I haven't gotten to that yet, so let's close with that. We looked at the 7-day. The 7-day doesn't show a lot of snowflakes, but a few snowflakes on here. The best chance will be Friday and into Saturday as we go through the upcoming week or so. That's good to know, but let's take a look at that snow forecast and the potential for it. And to do that, I'm going to go load up this puppy. Now, what you're going to look at, meteorologists, we check out all kinds of forecast models. Brad, I see you. Thank you for watching the YouTube channel and for your support to the internet bill. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. What we're going to do as meteorologists, you might see someone post a video up there that shows Snowmageddon. We're going to get so much snow over the next week and it's going to hit here or about there. To be honest with you, if it's beyond day about 3 or 4, then our chances of nailing that forecast go way, way down. We can't get too specific about it. But what we can do is look at this for the next week and see how many models agree how much snow we might get. Will there be any big wallopers coming through? Do we have some snow machine snow coming through? You're looking at day 7. By day 7, the total amount of snowfall here in the northern plains from eastern Montana through the Dakotas and through Minnesota off into parts of western and northern Wisconsin and out down into northern Iowa. Do we have anything to worry about? To this, a whole week, and we're talking 1/10 to an inch of snow on this European model. That's the one I have dialed up right now. So the European model says, nope, not a big deal, Hutch. Not even a medium deal. Here is a look at the Canadian model. Notice it doesn't have a lot of snow, up to an inch, maybe a tiny bit more, through parts of western Minnesota, southern Manitoba, moving into that Thunder Bay area in Ontario. Now look at this. The Black Hills might see a little bit of snow, but that elevated terrain plays tricks on us forecasters sometimes because it just grabs the ice crystals out of the atmosphere and causes them to develop there. But still, over a week, an inch or less of snow is not that big of a thing for us. We got this. Here's the American model. Nary a flake to be found here for Minnesota, the Dakotas, until we get into the Arrowhead. And one more model just to take a look at it. Wow! Woo! So you might see on the interwebs from some folks showing, oh, we're going to have a heck of a snowstorm as we go through the next 7 days. Look at this. Look out, Rochester. Look out, you folks out there in Spooner and all the way up into central Wisconsin. This is the only model showing this. Could it happen? Yes. Will it happen? I'm not thinking so. 3 out of 4 models are showing that we're going to stay pretty dry here as far as snowfall goes. So now is the time to wax your shovels, to gas up the snow blowers, to tinker around with things, make sure things are looking good. And as temperatures flirt with freezing, you might even be able to scrape a little bit of ice off the sidewalks. That is a complete look at your forecast. Thank you for being a part of it. I'll be back with updates right here, including what you can expect in your hour-by-hour forecast for the morning ahead. It's going to be slippery. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Stacy, very, very much. Soupy Fog from Hecla. Oh, my goodness. And thank you, Nan Leo Eckley, for the explanation. You're very welcome. And Steven says the 2026 Special Olympics Games are coming up. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. All right. For now, on this Monday evening, I am going to get Pedro some food, but have a wonderful evening, and we will check back in the morning. Unless some breaking weather happens, you can always count on me for that. Download the app. Head over to hutchesweather.com. Hit those roads that we have right there on the app for you. It is the only app where it's one-stop shopping for all your weather needs. Have a great evening, and
this has been a Hutch's Weather Update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Wait, you forgot the new app. You're right, I did. Don't forget to download our new app. Oh, now let's rock. Thanks for watching